nobody is coming to save you. So you have a creative idea, a personal project, or just a goal that you want to accomplish, and there are no supervisors, no likes, no comments, no encouragement. How motivated would you still be? Most of us perform when there's an applause, but the truth is that the most growth happens underneath the soil where nobody can see. And to be very honest, today I'm going to be breaking down how to lead yourself and to stay motivated when no one is cheering you on, just you and your goals. Firstly, what is self-leadership? Self-leadership is simply leading yourself. Of course, it's a tautology, but you get the point, right? It means taking charge of your life, taking charge of your growth, taking charge of every single thing that you want to experience as a human being in life. It is all your responsibility. You might not be responsible for the things that happen to you or happen around you, but you're always going to be responsible for how you react to those things. So it's like being the king of a community, but this time around, the community is you. You are the king of you. Self-leadership is extremely important because think about it like this. We all fall into that trap where we focus more on the task or responsibilities given to us by others than the ones that we set for ourselves. For example, you are employed in a freelance gig and you also have your own personal music album that you're trying to put together. Every single day, if you don't have as much self-leadership as you should, you would dedicate a lot more of your time into completing the freelance project because they are paying you and because they have deadlines and all of those things. But we don't seem to want to put all of those structures in place for our own personal projects unless there's somebody doing it for us, like a virtual assistant or some record label you're reporting to or some sponsor that has put money on your head and you cannot just mess up, so you have to deliver. But what if there is no accountability partner, nobody else? That's where self-leadership comes in. At the end of the day, self-leadership is about discipline. Why is it hard for artistic creatives especially to lead themselves? There are a number of pitfalls, and the first one is waiting for validation before execution. We all fall into that trap where we are waiting for somebody to tell us that, I want that idea dope, I love the direction you're going with this, before we take action. And you get all the dopamine hits from all the compliments, but you never end up doing the thing. Another pitfall is comparing your journey to others. As the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. And if you have no joy when you're doing your creative work, there's no desire to continue. The only way you get further on your own path is by focusing on it. Thirdly, procrastinating because you think no one cares. Now, because of the fact that you probably have just your friend and your brother viewing your post, you want to wait until there's an audience before you now put out the major work. But the truth is, the audience you are looking for is looking for what is inside you. So you have to actually apply yourself and create and share what you've created before people who like what you've created can find you. I'm going to share 3 tips on how to avoid these pitfalls and maintain a strong self-leadership as you progress in your creative career. Number 1, set personal standards. What are those goals and those standards that you as a person want to attain or sustain? It's all about what you value and not what is popular or what is viral at the moment. For example, I'm going to post 1 piece of content every single week. It doesn't matter whether anybody else is posting 20 pieces of content per day. You are not Alex Hormozi. You are also not Gary Vee. You don't have the team that they have. You don't have the strength of resources that they have. So if it is 1 piece of content that you can do with your full-time job and your other responsibilities, then stick to it and make sure that's the best 1 piece of content that anybody on the internet following you is going to ever see. 2, build habits and stop seeking for motivation, because motivation is just a farce. Motivation never comes before you do the work. What actually happens is that you start doing the work, and then while doing the work, you feel energized and motivated to continue doing the work. You see this book? If you've not read it yet, go and pick it up. And one important thing that you're going to learn from this book is that you need to start small. For example, you can say 30 minutes of writing scripts every single day, or 30 minutes of writing a song every single day, or even if it's 15 minutes that you can afford in a single day, do it. But build a habit out of it, something you do consistently over time, day in, day out. For example, when I was learning to play the guitar, many times I say, okay, I'm going to build a habit of 10 minutes, and I start with 10 minutes, and before I know it, I've spent 4 hours on that same guitar. And that's literally how it happens, reinforcing the fact that motivation doesn't come before the work. The work starts, and motivation comes along the way. Of course, that doesn't mean that you should now overdo it and spend 48 hours practicing one chord. Take it easy. It's also part of self-leadership to be time conscious. Number 3, create your own mode of accountability that doesn't require an audience. We've established that self-leadership is about the self. So you need to now create those systems that will enable yourself stay accountable to the goals that you have set. For example, things like habit trackers, that you have a 30-day tracker maybe on your fridge or your freezer or in your room somewhere, and you tick each day to say, okay, I have done my vocal training for today, or I have done my practice for today, I've done my 5 seconds of writing. I hope nobody's doing 5 seconds. Ticking it every single day when you do it. First of all, that even does a lot for you, as it makes your brain desire to tick the next one. It's like a game. You condition your brain to believe that ticking things off a calendar is actually very fulfilling, and it works like magic. So things like habit trackers, daily planners, alarms, just to make sure that you are on track, because nobody is coming to save you. Finally, and my most favorite tip, is to align with your why. Every single action that you take as a human being needs to be attached to a why. What is the reason? Why are you really going to commit to that plan of posting every day on Instagram for 30 days? There needs to be a why, and that why cannot be anything flimsy. It needs to be something connected to your purpose as an individual. You need to make that clarification, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you going when the going gets tough. If possible, print it and put it in your room. Stick it everywhere to say, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I need to stay consistent. This is why I need to do this and do that. Because when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse and inconsistencies are inevitable. Now, I remember last year when I was doing a 100-day song cover challenge. Every single day of the week, including Sundays, I would pick music, record. Sometimes I even have to separate the stems to remove the original vocals from the instrumentals, write lyrics, mix, then I would master, sit or stand in front of a camera and dance and mime the song, take it into my editing software, edit the video, then I would post it on social media and engage comments, and I repeat that same process the next day for 100 days straight. It was hard, many days, but I kept at it because it connected strongly with my why. Look at an influencer like Ashakan, for example. He has always been making skits from way back. Why? Because he just wants to make people happy, and now he's doing that on a much bigger scale. Imagine if he had stopped doing that then and maybe got employed as a banker in Union Bank or something like that. The world would be very sad today. So here are some key takeaways that you can start applying today, no matter what. First of all, every single day should start with a micro goal. One thing that you must do before the day ends. And it doesn't have to be something big. It could be something as little as sending an email to that brand that you want to collaborate with, or anything else. Secondly, check your progress weekly or daily, because whatever you don't monitor, you cannot improve. Thirdly, celebrate small wins, no matter how small. Finally, focus on impact, not applause. Applause is nice and cool, but after the applause, how does your creativity influence the lives of the people consuming it in a positive way? That is what the focus should be on. Remember that image of a tree. You see the roots of the tree down below, and then you see the tree with the stem and the branches and the leaves with the fruits up above. Nobody sees what goes on down below. And the funny thing is, when the seed goes in, it starts growing from there first before it goes upward. So really and truly, the real growth starts from underneath, where nobody is seeing. After all this value that you've received from this video, you need to click on that subscribe button now. Click it. Yes, very good. Now click on the like button. Very good. Now, leave a comment telling us that one micro goal that you're setting for yourself for tomorrow.